Hey there, my name is Matthew Weiner. I'm the president and CEO of the Weiner Group, and I'm here with a great friend of mine and colleague, Tyrone Reed.
Yeah.
Tyrone, you just wrapped up your first year in this business, correct?
I did. Yeah.
So how many hours per week on average were you working last year?
To be honest, between 20 to 25 hours. I was really heavy part time. I work, do a lot of work with my church. I do a lot of volunteer stuff there. So it's pretty much a lot of what we did.
And given that you were trading about 20 to 25 hours a week, and obviously some lead investment into your business a bit, what did you end up grossing last year?
So that was around like 87,000 last year.
Okay, so gross income of 87,000, first year in the business. Do you have sales experience?
No.
Okay, so we have an amazing opportunity here for you. Regardless of what your experience level is, we've got a great system to train you on how to have those sort of results. I started actually as a part-timer myself in 2017, and 2018 was my first full year in the business. I was actually working at Walmart, never sold anything in my life, and my first year in the business, I grossed about $106,000 in income and profited 83% of that income, working about 30 hours per week. So let's talk a little bit about like what we do here, just to get the lay of the land for you. We work in a very specific niche of the life insurance industry, namely called, like we sell a specific product called living benefit life insurance. So it's a very unique product where you don't have to die to actually use the life insurance. And we primarily work in a really small space called mortgage protection. So it's a very small niche. Now I know you're probably thinking it's like, oh gosh, life insurance? Seriously? And I was like, I did too. Mm-hmm. Never pictured myself doing anything like this. But what I found is that it's a very noble profession and a very lucrative one at that, if you have the right people supporting you and the right systems in place, and we certainly have the right systems in place. So let's talk about, if somebody doesn't have any experience, maybe you don't have an insurance license, let's first talk about the process that someone may need to get through to get their insurance license. So first thing you're going to need to get is you're going to need to get into a pre-licensing course. So you're looking at we'll actually send you a discount code. So Tyrone has access to a discount code. We got a relationship with a company called Excel. And typically, if you're seeking out pre-licensing on your own, you're probably going to pay about $200 or $300. We've got a discount code. We'll send you to knock it down to about 40 or 50 bucks, depending on your state. So that's the first thing. Now, once you get that license, which you can do within a matter of a couple weeks, we're going to plug into training. Now, I got to tell you, training is the X factor in this business. Mm-hmm. And Tyrone, you've been a great student of our business. You've implemented our training. So tell everybody, like, how is it when someone comes into our business? They could be anywhere in the country. How can they get started with us, and what can they expect in terms of training?
Yeah, so we believe in one-on-one training. I'm gonna be the one working with you myself, as well as Matthew. He's the one who taught me everything I know. So I've been doing this for last year was my first full year in business. So I'm gonna be in the trenches with you, showing you exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm super grateful for the system that we have. The average agent that's getting started with us, they have about, they write about 3 applications a week. And this week, if we're talking about where I'm at right now, I had 12 applications last week. So I'm super grateful being able to implement it pretty quickly and getting started here with us.
So Tyrone immediately came in and was actually one of our top producers in our team for his first full year. And actually, you're starting off as the number 1 producer this year. Yeah, right. About a little over 20 applications just in the first 2 weeks of 2024 alone. Mm-hmm. So you've gotten very, very good and efficient at being able to go out there and help a family. So let's talk about some of the carriers and products that we sell. So like I said, we sell a very specialized form of life insurance called living benefits. The thing that makes it very unique is that if someone has a critical illness, like a heart attack or stroke or cancer or something like that, they can actually accelerate a portion of their death benefit to be paid to them while they're alive. And it's a pretty startling fact that 3,000 homes per day are foreclosed in the U.S. 3,000 homes per day foreclosed. Number one reason why that is, 48% of the time, in fact, is a critical illness of a breadwinner. So the breadwinner having a heart attack or stroke or cancer, something of that nature, and they can't afford to pay the bills anymore. So our products will actually allow people to accelerate money from their death benefit be paid to them while they're alive so they can stay in their home. Mm-hmm. So and my mentor, Nick Theodore, he actually, with a panel of 5 people, created a proprietary product. So unless you're with our company, you can't have access to it, okay? And it actually accepts a broader scope of individuals, so people that have some health issues. So like if you have people in your family, maybe they've sought out a life insurance product before, maybe they're tough to insure. We've got products that can insure them and oftentimes get them living benefits as well, which is something most people don't know about. Mm-hmm. So Tyrone, your experience as a producer going out there and sitting with families, you have a good perspective now to see like how competitive our products are in the marketplace. When you've sat with somebody in their home, like first off, how much confidence have you had and what you're presenting? And then secondly, have you ever told somebody that you can't offer them anything?
I've been doing it, like, I see it right now. I'm more of a full-time agent, and I can't even tell you, maybe once in the last, year and a half, year and 9 months so far. So I have so much conviction, and I'm telling you, there's so many houses that I walk into that people might already have insurance, and I'm able to either maybe one, save them money on what they currently have with our product, because it's actually about, on average about 10 to 15% below market on any other type of product. And then the second thing is, I know that whenever I walk into a house and somebody, let's say they have a, normal life insurance policy, it's really called death insurance. That's what I call it, because they have to die for that money to get paid. So I'm like, hey, I know this is great that you have this, but I can get you the same thing. It's almost the same price, and I get you these other benefits if that does happen to you. So that's an advantage that we have.
Now let's talk about the fun part, the money part. So how much you get paid from these policies, which is pretty crazy. So Tyron, someone's coming in, they're brand spanking new. They're starting at a starting level with us. First off, what's the compensation ranges that they can expect? And as a new agent, what's the average compensation they're going to get for selling a policy?
Yeah, so as a new agent, you're going to start off with us at a 70% contract, and you can go all the way up to 120% contract. It's just based upon the amount of production that you do. And so, the way it works is you get paid per each application that gets approved and issued. Okay, so you get paid on the annual premium volume that they pay. Okay, we like to always talk about the averages of what we have, not somebody that did some 12 years ago. That was a super crazy thing that happened. Okay, so the average policy is going to be around $89. Okay, and so that's going to be a total of $1,068 they're going to pay over the next 12 months. 89 times 12 is $1,068, and so you will be getting paid 70% of that for the policy when it gets approved and issued. So which goes out to around like $721. But then what the insurance company is actually going to do is they advance you 75% of that $721 now. So you'll get around $525. Okay. And then the other remaining amount comes on months 10, 11, and 12 of the policy staying on the books. So each policy that you get issued, is going to be around $525.
That's amazing. So, and the thing that I found to be amazing about our business is the sales cycle and how quick it is, right? The sales cycle being from the time that you actually make contact with somebody to booking an appointment, sitting with them, writing an application. I mean, that's about 3 to 4 days, the total sales cycle. So I'll get a lead, call them, book an appointment, sit with them the next day, write an application, and about 2 days later, we're getting money deposited into our checking account if it gets approved in the house. Mm-hmm. And so you could take your lead investment and turn it around within a matter of days, making money here.
Exactly.
And so the other thing is, like, actually you can go above 120% if you're building a team, and get up to upwards of 140% on our grade, which is actually some of the highest compensation in our industry. Mm-hmm. So and the even crazier part, you can skip levels. So like if you're corporate America right now and you're like I was when I was working at Walmart, and you maybe you get a quarter or 50-cent raise per year. See, on our grid, you can raise your compensation 10, 15, 20, 30, 40%. You can actually skip levels. So you can start at that 70% commission level like Tyron was saying, and skip all the way up to 120% commission within 2 months. You skip levels. That's something that's very unique. Mm-hmm. So speaking of, I mentioned leads a couple times in our clientele. We work with middle income folks, probably the most underserved market in America. And these are folks that they want something that's simple, that's quick, and affordable. So they don't want to take a medical exam. They don't want to jump through a bunch of hoops. And we got a product to service them. You just answers, probably 12 medical questions or something like that. If you can answer no, you're going to qualify most of the time. And so that's what our clients are typically looking for. So tell everybody about our leads. Like, what do leads cost? Leads aren't free. You're going to invest in leads, but here's how good our leads are. Well, we actually buy leads for you. That's right. So if we're saying leads are good, everybody's going to tell you their leads are great. Very few people will actually reach into their pocket and actually help you as the agent buy those leads. We do that. So tell everybody, like, what's that lead bonus look like in our structure, and also what's the pricing on leads, and how much are they going to actually make back in money on when they invest into leads?
Yeah, so as a new agent, we'll be helping you to get started. Like I said, I'm going to be taking my own money out of my pocket to help you get started and going. Like I said, if there were junk, we wouldn't take our own money and spend it on anybody else, right? So what it typically looks like for a brand new agent on the cost of leads, you're going to be spending anywhere between $7, and 50 cents, as a new agent to get started. Okay, for you to be able to, start getting out, learning how to do this thing. And then once you get more experience, then that's when you can move up and you can start doing a little bit more newer leads. But so the typical investment that it's going to look like, I know for myself, what we're going to do on your first lead order, you're going to do a $150 match. Okay, so if you put in 150, I'm gonna match you 150 bucks. Okay, and on your first application you get submitted, I'm gonna be sending you another 150 bucks. So $300 out of my pocket for you spending 150. So you're gonna be putting in around $450. Okay, and so that's gonna get you at least, if you're working part time, around 2 weeks of work. Okay, for you to be able to go out into the field, start making some appointments, running appointments like that. So you should be able to get between 20 to 22, maybe 24 appointments out of those leads. And so out of that, you should be able to write at least like 7 to 8 applications on a minimum. You're really bad at this. You don't know what you're doing. That's where you should be at a minimum. And so that, like I said, on those applications, we already ran over the numbers of what that looks like per each application, which I'm sure we'll run over the numbers of exactly, not every one of those are going to get approved, so 70% of those will get placed. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of those will actually get paid.
So my first year in the business, I invested $18,000 in leads. I grossed $106,000 in income. So my profit margins were 83% of my gross income. Mm-hmm. So we usually say as a rule of thumb that for every dollar you invest in leads, you're going to make 5 back and improve upon that. Mm-hmm. And then with our lead bonus program, we've seen people get in, I know you've personally profited upwards of 90% of your gross income in a month.
Yeah, last year I spent right around $7,800 in leads.
So that's over 90% profit margin there. That's amazing. So let's talk about the last opportunity here before we get wrapped up. We have a unique opportunity in the fact that our compensation grid allows you to actually move up in compensation level, and then you can hire people and earn what's called overrides. So if you're interested in building an agency, certainly not something you have to do, and you don't have to build an agency in order to make significant income. But if you do, what can happen is you can actually make a passive source of income. So I went from working part-time, making 106 my first year, and then I started building an agency. And I started finding people like Tyrone and many other people in our team that became a lot of them actually made 6 figures in their first year. In fact, I have a guy that made $300,000 his first year in business with me. His name is Matt Gibbons. He's working about 60 hours a week to your 20, right? And we just got to get you working a little bit more. Yeah. And so you can actually hire people in your team and earn what's called overrides, which is basically bonuses from the insurance company that get paid to you when your agents go out there and write business. So that opportunity is available to you as well. So Tyrone, if somebody's interested in looking into this a bit more, what do they need to do next?
Yeah, so just go back to the main form of communication that we had, whether it was through text or it was through email, and you respond the agent's company, and we'll be able to get in contact and schedule an interview so we can chat a little bit more about this.